Man, I can't believe they did it. I cannot believe they did it, but they did. So yeah, we got some pretty good stuff to unpack in this review here. So yeah, let's go in to reviewing The Mandalorian Season 2 finale, The Rescue. Here we go. Okay, this finale was great to season 2. No matter how many issues I had about this episode, yeah, and I had a couple minor gripes about this episode, but it didn't really affect me in loving this episode because, yeah, this episode was great. And as far as the whole season, the full season was great as well. But let's just dive in to this season finale. So we see Mando and Boba Fett and Fennec and Cara. They're going to this planet, and of course it's Mando and Boba, Din and Boba going to the saloon. Not saloon. It was like a cantina. But there you find Bo-Katan and Sasha Banks. I forgot her character's name. Actually, I don't even know. I don't think I ever found out what her character's name. So let's go by Sasha Banks. So they're sitting there, and of course, like Mando and Boba are coming in because they need their help, and Bo-Katan, of course, wants the Darksaber from Moff Gideon. But of course, they have a confrontation because, yeah, Bo-Katan recognizes Boba's voice because, yeah, he is of course a clone, and she's of course, yeah, you're not a Mandalorian. She called Jango his donor instead of his father. So yeah, so we have a confrontation with that. Sasha Banks and Boba get into a fight. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's why they got Sasha Banks too, because she can throw down. WWE star right there. So yeah, so it was a little pretty good skirmish, I guess. And I kind of like that confrontation, and I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, but of course they're gonna go along because, yeah, of course, Moff Gideon has a Darksaber, as I just said. And I loved how they got onto the Imperial, the Star Destroyer. I don't even know what they call it. I don't think they call it a Star Destroyer. But they have, like, of course, they have Boba posing as chasing the Imperial ship that they got from those Imperials. And with the doctor on it, I forgot, it was Dr. Pershing. So yeah, so I thought that was cool. You see Boba, of course, taking out a couple of TIE fighters as they try to chase them. And then Boba's gone. Boba's like, you don't see him for the rest of the episode. You just have the women of this episode kicking ass on that Star Destroyer. And yeah, they kick a lot of ass. I mean, they're just mowing down stormtroopers. I mean, you got Cara Dune, Fennec, you got Bo-Katan and Sasha Banks. And I'm like, wow, this is great. They're just taking out stormtroopers left and right on that ship. It's just like, wow, it's awesome to see. You have like one moment where it was like Bo-Katan and Sasha Banks, they jump off that ledge, and then they come back up with their jetpacks to take out stormtroopers. I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, so everything I saw from them was pretty cool in this episode. Just a bunch of women in Star Wars kicking ass in this episode was great. And then we got the Mando, of course, in this episode. And the Mando, of course, has encounter with a Dark Trooper. And that was a pretty good fight, him and the Dark Trooper, because it shows that these Dark Troopers are very imposing. They're like Terminators pretty much. So yeah, so it was a pretty good fight. And it showed you that Dark Troopers, yeah, they will mow you down as if there's a lot of them. And there were plenty of them here. And it was kind of convenient how Mando pulled that lever and they like all like float, just like got wiped out into space, of course. I thought that was like, yeah, it was very convenient, but it actually kind of made sense a little bit because that's where they kind of get deployed. I mean, they got deployed like that when they went to go get Grogu. So I thought that it makes a little sense, but it was also a little bit convenient. But they also came back later. I'm going to get to that later because that's pretty much the main point we're going to talk about in this review, is like what happens with them, of course. But then it gets into like the room they're holding Grogu, and there's Moff Gideon, of course. And Moff Gideon has a Darksaber. Like, it seems at first he's just gonna let him take Grogu because he's like done with him. He took his blood. He took everything he wanted from him. But you know, it's Giancarlo Esposito. It's from Breaking Bad, of course. But of course, Moff Gideon is not gonna let him go because he uses the Darksaber to try to like slam down on him. And of course, the Beskar helped Mando there. And then they have the fight. Mando has the Beskar spear, and of course Moff Gideon with the Darksaber. I thought that was cool. And then of course Mando getting the win in that fight. So yeah, Mando has the dark saber, Din has the dark saber, and that brings up a whole nother issue because when he goes back and he has Gideon alive, brings it back to Bo-Katan, and Bo-Katan, you see the look of her face when he like brings the dark saber back, and yeah, she has a look of concern. And of course they reveal that yeah, since Mando won it by combat, that the dark saber is his and he cannot give it away to Bo-Katan. He even tries to yield it, but he can't give it away. He has Bo-Katan has to win it off him by combat, which is very interesting. But there's also kind of a plot hole there because in the anime shows like Rebels, Sabine had the dark saber and she just gave it to Bo-Katan. So yeah, that doesn't really make sense unless they explain if something happened in between Rebels and The Mandalorian. So now it seems that you gotta win you gotta get the darksaber by combat, and you can't give it away. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool idea, but they're gonna have to explain it somehow. I think they probably will in season 3, if season 3 is still gonna be about Din Djarin. So that's gonna be interesting because there's something else that comes out in the post credits to this episode, so I'll get to that too. But also that sets up a possible conflict later because yeah, now Mando has the darksaber and he could possibly decide what he wants to do with it, even though he probably doesn't want to rule Mandalore, even though Mandalore is kind of in ashes now. Maybe he won't or won't agree with Bo-Katan and what she wants to do when she wants to be in power in Mandalore, and maybe he'll just want to have it and want to be a reluctant leader like Jon Snow was in Game of Thrones. So I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there. I might talk about it a little bit in a bit. I don't know, because I want to get to the part where everybody's talking about on Twitter and it's been spoiled on Twitter. So yeah, there's a possibility you've been spoiled by it. So we'll see. I don't know. But we see the dark troopers come back, and of course they're gonna come back. They have jetpacks, so they're flying back. There's a bunch of them, and Gideon says you don't stand a chance against them, and only him and Grogu would be the ones left standing if the Darksabers were gonna open fire on everyone. It does not look like it would be good for the crew in the episode because Mando, he was struggling against that one dark trooper, so something's gonna happen. And something does happen. We see the X-Wing, and right when the X-Wing flew in, I was like, are they gonna bring Luke Skywalker into this episode? Is this gonna be Luke? Because it could be no other person because it's just one X-Wing. So yeah, he gets out and he starts mowing, and I'm like, wow, they brought Luke Skywalker into this episode. Wow. And it's the Luke I think we've always wanted to see, the Luke in between or after Return of the Jedi, and between everything that went on with the movies. I mean, I liked Last Jedi. I like what they did with Luke in there, but I want to see the Luke between this. I mean, we saw it in that video game Jedi Fallen Order. Or no, that was in Battlefront 2, not Jedi Fallen Order. But it was in seeing Luke in here. I mean, he's hooded, so you couldn't really see his face when he was mowing down these dark troopers, but it was just it was crazy. I mean, there's one moment that seems reminiscent of Darth Vader in Rogue One when he's mowing down all the the rebels on that ship. So yeah, that was it was so cool to see. I was like, wow, because I did not think they were gonna bring back Luke. I thought it was gonna be maybe Cal Kestis, if there was gonna be a Jedi to show up. I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna be Ezra, but yeah, Cal Kestis I thought would be a likely figure, because I just think Luke would have been weird to bring in this show, but they did it. And of course everyone kind of theorized that Sebastian Stan might be okay. They can bring in Sebastian Stan because there's a very similar look. He looks kind of similar to how Mark Hamill looked back in the day when he played Luke. So yeah, but they didn't go that route, because when he took the hood off, you can see they tried to de-age Luke's face, of course, Mark Hamill's face, and it was slightly off. I don't know. The CGI was a bit wonky. And this is one of my minor gripes about this episode, because it was I don't know. I think it was passable for just being a scene in this episode. But it was like, if this was like a full episode and they did this, I would not accept it at all. But since it was a scene, I thought, okay, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. I mean, it actually sounded like Mark Hamill. And of course, he was credited in the credits. So yeah, I guess he did voice him, and they probably did something to his voice to make him sound a bit younger. And I guess they did de-age him. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Mark Hamill was on set filming this, but yeah, they did something with them. And yeah, what a crazy, crazy ending to the season for The Mandalorian. And kudos to them for keeping this a secret. I mean, I know people theorized this, what happening, but there was no confirmation or rumors of it happening. I don't know if there were any leaks, because I didn't see any leaks, but we knew Ahsoka Tano was going to show up from rumors. We knew Katie Sackhoff was going to be Bo-Katan. We knew like Boba Fett was probably going to show up, because that was rumored too. But there were no rumors of Luke Skywalker showing up. And yep, he showed up and he kicked ass. And it was just, I mean, what a finish. And of course, he takes Grogu with them. I mean, R2-D2 shows up too. But man, seeing Grogu leave, didn't like that. And of course, Pedro Pascal then takes off his helmet again and saying bye to Grogu. And you can see like the tears coming from his eyes. I mean, I can end up tearing up right there too, because damn, he was like a father to him for these first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. And it was like, wow, this is sad. And they kind of hinted that they could see each other again, because like Mando says, I'll see you again sometime, probably. So I don't know, maybe, how would that even happen though? Would he visit Luke or something like that? Because I think if that was going to happen, they would have to bring in an actor. They would have to bring in Sebastian Stan if that was going to happen. And Luke showing up was definitely fan service, but it was fan service done right, because it fit in with the story. There was going to be a Jedi that was going to come, because he got to the Jedi Temple at Tython, and Grogu called out to the Force. So it was pretty much going to happen. And yeah, I think it fits in well. And I don't think we should see Luke again in this show, because I don't want another Luke appearance, because this is about Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, or possibly Boba Fett. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that post-credit scene. But yeah, but also, how does the show go on without Grogu? Because there were a lot of people, like casual fans, that came to this show because they wanted to see Baby Yoda. And now possibly Baby Yoda is not going to be on the show that much longer. I know they set up a conflict with Bo-Katan, but I don't know if would the fans, casual viewers, attach themselves to that storyline, because I don't know. I know a lot of fans want to see Baby Yoda in the show. That was a big reason why a lot of people watch The Mandalorian. I mean, for me, I'm going to watch it still. I'm going to watch all these Star Wars shows pretty much. But I'm just wondering, does this show work, and will it lose viewers if Grogu doesn't have a big role in this show? That's a question. You can tell me down below in the comment section what your stance on that is. But now let's get to that post-credit scene. And I didn't even know there was going to be a post-credit scene. I was just on Twitter looking at everybody's reactions to the episode, and then in the corner of my eye, I see on the TV Jabba's palace show up on screen. And then you see Boba Fett. Well, no. It's actually Bib Fortuna, who is I guess the assistant or the doorman. I don't know. He's the guy who works under, or the guy who did work under Jabba the Hutt. But of course, Bib Fortuna is on the throne, and of course, he looks like he's gotten into Jabba's food stash, and he's ballooned up a bit. But you see Fennec come in, and then Boba comes in, and I'm like, wow, okay. And then he just shoots Bib Fortuna straight up in the neck or something like that. I don't know. That was wow, okay, Boba's gonna hardcore here. I mean, yeah. So he takes off Bib Fortuna's dead body off the throne, and Boba just sits there, and Fennec has a drink in her hand, a blue drink, and she drinks out of that. And it's just it's badass to see that. And then we see, of course, Boba Fett, or it's the Book of Boba Fett, coming December 2021. So we knew The Mandalorian was gonna come back in December 2021, but is the Book of Boba Fett going to be The Mandalorian season, or is it going to be a separate series? They didn't make that clear. And if they are two separate series, it looks like they're going to run simultaneously, I guess. I don't know. But I'm kind of mixed on that, because I really want it to be its own separate series, because I want to see Din Djarin's journey. I want to see that continue. But if they go on like having season 3 being Boba Fett's story, I'm going to be kind of like, yeah, I like Boba Fett. They made him badass in the season, and I actually like the character now. Well, I really like the character now. But yeah, I want to see Din Djarin, and I don't want it to be 2 years in between Din Djarin's story. So yeah, that's interesting. So I really hope they're two different series, and we get like a separate Boba Fett series. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. Any thoughts you have in the, like, you can leave them down in the comments also about that. Do you want to see Boba Fett be the Mandalorian in The Mandalorian, I guess? Tell me down below. And yeah, all that. But yeah, what a season. What a season 2. And yeah, season 2 of The Mandalorian was way better. Like a tons better than last season. I mean, I like last season, but there were a couple episodes I didn't care about. Every episode this season I really liked, and there were like 4 or 5 that I loved. I mean, we saw Ahsoka, we saw Bo-Katan in that one episode. I really liked those episodes. I mean, even like the Bill Burr episode was great. Even the Spiders episode was great. The first episode with Cobb Vanth on Tatooine, defeating the Crate Dragon was, I think that was a great opening of the season. So yeah, season 2, what a great season of television. I think of any TV show, this is probably one of the best seasons of television. I'm biased though, I'm a Star Wars fan, but yeah, I loved it. It's definitely one of my favorites of any TV show out there. So tell me your thoughts on the finale and season 2 as a whole. How much did you enjoy it? So yeah, tell me down below. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more of me talking Star Wars in the future. I do mostly gaming on this channel, but I'll definitely talk about Star Wars, Marvel, or anything movies related, I guess. So yeah, so subscribe for more. And until next time, I will see you folks later. This is The Way.